In this video, I want to show how to do a CLV, Customer Lifetime Value analysis, in a spreadsheet. Now, we've talked about how to do these before in this class using what I'm calling a simple CLV model, and that looks something like this, if you might recall. And this was the model if you had no initial margin. If you have an initial margin, you've got to add that initial margin on the end. But nice, simple formula. But the problem with a simple formula is it makes simple assumptions like the retention rate is constant for the entire time. The amount of money, the dollar margin per person, is constant for the entire time. Customers live forever except for attriting. And maybe your retention spending per customer is constant for the entire time. So if any of those are not true, then this model is going to give you estimates that are inaccurate. So instead, we're going to have to use a spreadsheet to figure out what those customers are worth. So I've set this up ahead of time to show you how we do this, and I've put in blue the kinds of numbers that you would get as part of the problem. You might read those from a case or from your knowledge of the business, and then these other numbers kind of in black will be things we can compute based on the numbers we were given. In this example, you can see we start with 5,000 customers. Imagine this is from a database, longitudinal database. We go into our archives, we pull out some stuff, we find, wow, so a few years ago we started with 5,000 customers. The next year only 4,000 of those people stayed with us. Then 3,500 remained, then 3,200 remained after 3 years. So those are numbers of customers. We looked at their transactional data and we saw that they had an average order size of $75 initially, $80 here, $95, but they didn't always have just one order. So initially there was one order, but in this next time period, they on average had about 1.5 orders worth $80, and then about 1.6 orders worth $95, and so on. So we've got a little multiplier there to figure out what the revenue would be. So with that much information, let me touch on a couple of little things. You can see the margin down here on sales. This is like your gross margin. And we're going to have some retention spending per customer per year. Maybe we're mailing them a catalog or a customized direct mail piece, or maybe we're doing that 3 or 4 times a year. So that's going to run into some money per year on retention spending. So let's go ahead and put in some other numbers and see how this starts to look. One number that I think is kind of interesting to include is the actual retention rate. So I'm going to put in some math here that shows us, oh, look at that, we had an 80% retention rate in the first time period, and oh, it drops off a little bit to 91%. Okay, we don't need that immediately for our analysis, but it is a little diagnostic, a little informative. Okay, revenue we will need, so let's compute that. And here it's going to be the number of orders times the average dollars per order times the number of customers placing those orders. Gives us that number, and I'll just copy that across to be quick about it. And you can see, oh, look at that, actually kind of goes up a little bit, then comes down, and maybe it's coming down because our number of customers is dropping off a little bit. Margin is the next row that's easy to get, and margin is just going to be the sales revenue, basically, times percentage margin. And I'm going to use an absolute reference here so I can copy that equation all the way across. So there's our kind of margin on sales. Now, if you wanted to, you could put cost of goods sold in here, and that would just be, we're going to have the kind of total revenue minus margin will give us that number. So that would be cost of goods sold if you wanted to know that just as a something to make the table more complete. Okay, retention spending. So let's suppose in this case, this business said, we're going to spend $10 a year, and we're only going to mail the people who did business with us last year. Now, not all cases would make that assumption, but that's what I'll make in this example. So 5,000 people are going to get mailed, that's the people from last year, times the $10, again, absolute reference. I've got a Dell machine, so I'm pressing F4 to get that function to come out right. that shows my retention spending, and you can see over time my retention spending is going to drop as I have fewer customers that I'm mailing each time. Some companies actually mail everyone forever. If you do that, then this 50,000 would go straight across because you're always mailing 5,000 people. You'd have some constant here. And it's a little scary because then your retention spending would be constant, but per customer, your retention spending would actually get a little bit higher every year. Okay, so now we can figure out net income, and that's just going to be our margin on sales minus our retention spending, which we knew was 0 there. And there's a nice margin on sales. We put in discount factors. We've seen those before. 1 over 1 plus the discount rate. Again, absolute reference. Raised to the power of the time period. And 1 for the at time 0 looks good. I've done the math right. And these numbers look familiar, so that math looks right too. Now I can compute the net present value of this stream of future cash flows. So discount factor times net income gives me NPV for all those time periods. Then what's kind of interesting is to put in cumulative. You don't have to put this for every row, but if you're curious, you can add this kind of cumulative. So in the first time period, it's going to be exactly the money you made. But the next time period, if it's cumulative, we're going to add how much money we had to date, how much money we made to date, plus the new money we're making. And we're going to get a cumulative number there. Let me get this formatted so we can all see it. Oops. Oh, I multiplied. I'm sorry. Let me back up a step. We're going to take this number plus this number, now multiplied by that number. That looks a little better. Crunch those down a smidge, and we're going to carry that across. So now we can compute customer lifetime value. And customer lifetime value is that cumulative number, this number, divided by the number of customers we started with. Again, I'm pressing F4. So we have a CLV essentially of $26 for that initial purchase, but they're going to be working with us for a longer period of time. And so if we divided each cumulative, you could say in this result, if the question was, what's the CLV if we assume a 3-year time period, the answer is 93.79, because that's the cumulative divided by the number of customers we started with. Some left, right? They don't all stay, but on average, if you start with 5,000, you'll make this much money. So that's the same thing as saying, on average, you're going to make 93.79 per each customer. So we've divided this number by that number, and these are the same. So if the question was, what's the CLV if we assume a 2-year time frame, that would be the answer. One interesting thing about drawing it this way is now you can see that the CLV is kind of growing, and so that's a good thing. And you'd think, gee, maybe we should assume more time periods to get a more accurate estimate of the CLV. You can see that the net present value that we're adding each time is still substantial. It's getting a little bit smaller out here, but it's still substantial. So maybe we should carry that forward because there's still like revenue to be made on these people. So we should think of that maybe as a longer lifetime. I'll show how we can do that in a later video. But in this one, I just wanted to show how to set up customer lifetime value in a spreadsheet so that you could then model specific changes in retention rate or spending, margin, any of those in a spreadsheet.